Today we're going to talk about having the ability to share and emotionally connect with other people's feelings and what that means to people with chronic pain. Is it possible to understand their point of view and put yourself in their shoes? Is it the invisible illness problem? And if you have fibromyalgia, do you feel like you receive empathy from those closest to you? And then I'll end this video with my thoughts and my empathic journey and personality factors. Empathy is one of those important factors that help us to feel connected with others and helps us to know how to help them. There are three kinds of empathy: affective, somatic, and cognitive empathy. But we'll talk more about those in a minute. When someone is in pain, you might imagine what that feels like. But if you don't know if they're in pain because they aren't telling you, or you think they talk about it too much, you might dismiss their suffering. But if you can just imagine that time you had the flu and how you felt, or that time you stubbed your toe, throbbing pain you got, or that time you had a stomach ache that lasted for hours, or that time you had a throbbing headache, or that time you ran a mile or exercised for an hour and how wiped out you felt afterwards. If you can imagine those things, then you can put yourself in the shoes of someone with fibromyalgia, because that's how they feel most of the time. I think it can be hard to feel empathy for someone who doesn't demonstrate to you that they're sick or in pain, because you can't see it. It's the invisible illness problem. But if you listen carefully, you might catch a few things that maybe you didn't know before. Is their speech slower? Are they struggling with their words? Body language can tell us a lot. Are they walking slower today than they were yesterday? Or even from an hour before? But when you know that a family member or friend has fibromyalgia and you still respond indifferently or with hostility, to me, it's inconceivable. Maybe it makes you feel awkward or you have trouble with emotional situations. I mean, this is understandable, but outright being rude or hateful to someone is not understandable. So back to the three types of empathy. Affective empathy is when you connect with another person's emotions and you feel concern for their well-being. But it can also cause you personal distress because you're so wrapped up in other people's feelings and emotions. Then there's somatic empathy. That's when you feel a physical reaction to someone else's experience. For example, when someone is sad, you may also feel sad and express that same sadness. And then there's cognitive empathy, and that's when you understand another person's mindful state, how they are thinking about a situation. It's a matter of thinking what other people are thinking. The thing is, you might use any one of these empathic states depending on a situation. For example, I cry at funerals when other people cry. Which one of these empathic states is this? Somatic, right. I tend to rely on my past emotional experiences, which impact my thoughts and my feelings. Other people's feelings matter to me. It's certainly easier for me and many people to experience empathy based on past experiences. But for some, they might analyze things based on why they think the person is behaving a certain way. Not based on emotions, but based on logic and the info they might have in that moment, not their past experiences. And that's okay too. But here's my thought. Our personality makeup may just be the key. If you're familiar with the Myers-Briggs personality profile, you know that there are thinkers and feelers and sensors and intuitives and judgers and perceptors. And of course, you're either an extrovert or an introvert. Because we're such complex individuals, our personality matters. If you know that you are a thinker and emotional situations make you uneasy, understanding your personality might help you and those around you as to why you don't come across as an empathetic person. Although I have known some thinkers who may not share their feelings easily, but they do have feelings, and they can tap into that part of themselves to show compassion. If you haven't taken a personality test before, I put a link to a couple of them in the description box. Here's my result.
I've seen you in a movie, I heard you in a song. Now I know that this will never go wrong. Like you already knew me, that's why we get along. Yeah, I know that this will never go. Ooh, it's cinematic in the way we connected. Girl, you're so familiar, I never expected you to be right.
It helps to understand that other personality types may not enjoy expressing empathy. For example, an INTP may not have the natural ability to show emotion. Doesn't mean they don't have it. It's just uncomfortable for them. And they just might have trouble expressing it. Empathy's there. You just might not see it on the outside. So if you understand a person's personality type, it makes it much easier to connect with them and not feel like you're being judged. But there are people out there in the world who are cruel and selfish, and that's a whole different story. We're not talking about them in this video. Some people are just deep, deep thinkers, and they feel very deeply, even if they don't express those emotions. They might show their empathy by cooking, cleaning, or helping you with certain situations. This is their way of expressing their logical thoughts in a way that makes sense for them. I've experienced a lot in my almost 63 years, and even though I have a lot of negative experiences, I don't hold on to things for very long. And I can usually let someone know when they hurt my feelings, if I value that relationship. And once that's done, I'm over it. I can move on. For those close to me who express their love to me through deeds in a non-emotional way, it's okay. I don't take it personal, nor do I get my feelings hurt. We're all different, and people show they care in different ways. We all have busy lives, and everything isn't about me. Now, my husband calls me fiery. I asked him one day, how would you describe my personality? And he said, fiery. Now, I was expecting sweet, kind, generous, loving, those kinds of words. And he calls me fiery. I think that's because I need things to be in order and for people to be treated fairly. And I'll react very quickly when I feel like someone isn't being respected or loved, especially my family. Having empathy is about caring about the people around you, and it's about how you respond to them when they need you. I hope you learned something from this video, and I am able to shed light on the suffering of people with fibromyalgia, because having empathy is sometimes not a normal response for some people. I send you gentle hugs and support. Love you.
Ooh, it's cinematic in the way we connected. Girl, you're so familiar, I never expected you.
If you like this video, please comment below and like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.